Hello YouTube, this is Al coming to you once again from Kindred Souls of Brooklyn. I'd like to wish everybody a happy night. It's October 26, 2017. Halloween's coming up. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this video. I haven't really heard this talked about too much on YouTube or anywhere else, but a lot of people wonder why Elvis never toured outside of the United States. The reality is that he really wanted to tour outside the United States, but he was always persuaded not to by his manager, Colonel Tom Parker, who was Elvis's manager right from the beginning. And Elvis and Colonel Tom Parker had a very strange relationship. Colonel Tom Parker wasn't really a colonel. As it turns out, a lot of people didn't know, he was actually a Danish citizen who was in America illegally. He actually served in World War I believe it was. And once he came back into the country, he was afraid that he'd never be able to get out. And Elvis did want to sing in Europe. He always wanted to sing in Australia, New Zealand, but Colonel Tom Parker always persuaded him out of it. So, oddly enough, during Elvis's career, other than going to Hawaii, he never really left the continental U.S., and the reason for that was Tom Parker. And Tom Parker was a brilliant businessman. He was a very heavy gambler. It's estimated that he made about $100 million working with Elvis. And out of that money, when Tom Parker died in like 2007, he only was worth $1 million, and that's a lot of money for you and me. But when you consider he made so much money over the course of his career, and heaven knows what he did after that with books and appearances and all that, he was only worth that amount of money because he would gamble apparently $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 on a weekend. And this is going back when Elvis was playing at the Hilton in the 70s. So you can imagine what kind of money that was back then. A lot of people felt that's why Elvis was playing at the Hilton, was because of that reason, was that he had an unlimited credit there, Tom Parker did, and the Colonel just basically, he included him to sing there. But it was said that Elvis never really got out of the United States to sing because he really wanted to. That's why, folks, if you get a chance, there's a magnificent show going around the world pretty much, and it's Elvis Presley and the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. And what they do is they sometimes do the orchestra thing where an orchestra plays to the Elvis songs. It's Elvis Presley singing his vocals, via tape, of course, usually from Aloha, from Hawaii, or one of his really big shows. And so you have that show, but then you also have another show where so many musicians, like the classic guitar player James Burton, who played with John Denver, who's like a legend as guitar players go, who actually plays a show, and so you get Elvis singing on the screen, and you get a live rock and roll band right behind him. So it's a really fabulous show. I've seen it. If you can get a chance to see it, it is magnificent. Usually Priscilla Presley or Jerry Schilling, who was one of Elvis's closest friends. Jerry Schilling was actually the guy who went and saw Nixon when Elvis Presley showed up at the White House to see Richard Nixon, and actually got in after writing a handwritten note. Him and Sonny West and Elvis actually got to see Richard Nixon. So Jerry Schilling will open up the show and he'll say different things, talk about the stories of Elvis, either him or usually it's Priscilla. So it's a really great show to see if you get a chance to see. But like I said, I never really saw this too much talked about on the internet, but that was really the reason. And it wasn't until much later that they actually found out. I think it was Lamar Fike, who was the head of Elvis's bodyguard unit, that actually found out about this, and he actually showed up at the sister of Colonel Tom Parker's. It wasn't even his real name. I can't even pronounce his real Dutch name. But Lamar Fike actually showed up at at a house that was owned by Colonel Tom Parker's sister, and he actually looked just like his sister. And Lamar Fike approached him and he said, "Well, what's going on with this? How come you never said nothing?" He was, "Well, you never asked." So that was pretty much where that ended. So I guess in a way it's kind of nice that Elvis finally is touring the world, because he always wanted to do that. And other than being in Germany, where Elvis spent his military career with the tank unit over there, he never really got to sing out of the United States. So if he's up there in heaven looking down for all us Elvis fans, he is singing across the world, and good things are happening. So folks, I just figured I'd share that story with you tonight. I hope everyone's having a wonderful evening, and I'll see you real soon. Stay magical. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. If you want to leave a comment, please do. Otherwise, have a wonderful, magical night. Good night, folks. I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye now.